Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and we're going back to Dominaria United for this one. This is one of the few ones I haven't covered yet, so I figured it was time we did that. We've done a few partner videos this week, so I figured we'd finish, Thursday off with a bit of a go back to Dominaria United. And this is one of the more complicated decks I think I've had to build. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not. I've done some work on it, but we're going to have to see how it goes. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to the ever-changing Dane. White, blue and black for a 3/3 legendary creature shapeshifter. That has the ability, says 1. Sacrifice another creature. The ever-changing Dane becomes a copy of the sacrificed creature, except it has this ability. It's a 3/3. It's an interesting commander. From my point of view, it's one of the ones that did take me some time to think about, and I've only really now had the time to sit and think about it and put something together. And I decided it was really good to go down with this card down the clone deck idea. So here's the deck. We'll just go through it as normal. The normal selection of blue, black and white lands are in here. Yes, Fabled Passage and Field of the Dead make their final reappearance once more in the video. Along with that, we have just all the usual selection of lands that you'd expect me to be playing, including Urborg, False God, the Reliquary Towers here, Scrublands Inks, I have one, so that got snuck in. And everything else, as you can see, is just duels or basics. We're playing 4 of each basic. As I said in some videos earlier this week, there seems to be an uptick at the moment when I'm playing on the stream of people playing Blood Moon against me, so I've decided I need to compensate it for a little bit. I am only playing 3 Swamps, but that's because I'm playing Urborg, so hopefully that won't come back to bite us when we're playing the deck. As for the ramp side, I've gone a little bit heavy on this because of what we need to do and what we need to be copying and how we need to do things. So Mox Tantalite, Mana Crypt, Mana Vault are all in, along with Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Charcoal Diamond, Marble Diamond and Sky Diamond. And of course Solemn Simulacrum. But Solemn Simulacrum has a different purpose in this deck as well. So as I said, I've really gone down the clone route with this deck. And I went through it all and I wanted to break it down and go, right, I need stuff I can do early in the game and protect myself early on. And then later in the game I need some big stuff that's going to be worth copying. So that's how I went with it, and this is what I've come up with. Just to go through the other one drops, Ponder, Elixir of Immortality, you've all seen me play this, and Sensei's Divining Top, because I want to be going through the top of my deck if I can. I'm not really playing that much card draw on the deck, which is probably an error, but at the end of the day, you've got Sensei's Divining Top to sort it out, so hopefully they balance each other out. The 2 drops, Cyclonic Rift, Counterspell, Mana Drain, Hallowed Respite, because this is quite nice with clone effects. Some of the clones, you copy something early, you don't want it late in the game, you play another creature, you want to get it back, you can do it with this. It's quite a nice easy trick to change what you're copying with your creatures, so bear that in mind. Teferi's Protection's in, just protects us. Time Twister's in, obviously I've said it before, I play this online, I don't have one in real life. The cost when you look at the deck list, which is down below, is going to be really high when you see it if you're looking at the paper value of it. Take this out, put something else in. I'm just playing it because I've got one on MTGO. That's the only reason it's here. I'll go through the copying things. I've got Anointed Procession in, which will become obvious in a little while. Wall of Reverence I've decided is quite nice, just as we've got a nice early flying big blocker. Windborn Muse to give us a bit of protection. And Hero, and here come the things that we're probably going to be looking at in a minute. So, the clones that I'm playing, just so we've got them covered. We've got Phantasmal Image, which is one of the original ones. I've put in Cackling Counterpart. I've put in Mirror Maid, just so we can copy someone else's ramp cards if we need it. That's why this is in here. Or there's an enchantment we really want to have on our side of the board. That's why I've put Mirror Maid in. Quasi Duplicate to copy our creatures. We've got Phyrexian Metamorph, we've got Clone, Shaskima of 1,000 Faces, we've got Spark Double, we've got Undercover Operative from Streets of New Capenna. I nearly got it right, wrong again, but hey, we've got it right this time. Body Doubles in, Replication Specialist is in, because that does help us copy, which is quite nice. And Mind Flayer's in as well, which helps us nick something and maybe to copy it. We've also got a few other things. I'm just trying to find where they are. So Shaxima's Prodigy's in, which is quite nice. It gives us a cascade effect as well. So we might cascade into something else to copy, which is nice. And right up the end here, Clone Legion. So we can literally copy everyone's tokens. And this is one of the reasons Anointed Procession's in the deck. Because if we're going to copy everything that they've got, we might as well have 2 copies of it and make it even better. Obviously, if they've got a lot of legend creatures, we'll lose the legends. But hey, it's worth playing at the moment. So, what are we going to be trying to copy with all these cards that copy? Well, there's a couple of things. Windborn Muse springs to mind. Hero Blade holds in. Get those copies going, get more attacks in, protect ourselves a bit more deeper. It seemed like a good plan. Likewise, Archmaid of Emeritus is in here. We haven't got that many instants and sorceries in the deck, but you know, if we've got a couple of copies of this and we have to cast something like our Counterspell or our Mana Drain or our Cyclonic Rift or Teferi's Protection, we might as well get the card draw from it while we're doing it. To help out with that, the other thing we've got is Hostage Taker. Copy and Hostage Taker is really good, believe it or not, especially if you've got some excess mana, so whatever you get the copy of the Hostage Taker taking out, you get to cast there and then. It's really nice. Likewise, Solemn Sim. Yes, it's a ramp card, but it's also a really good copy target. Mainly because you get the copy comes into play, it comes in as Solemn Sim, you get the trigger for the land, and also when the copy then dies, you draw a card off it. So it's not the worst plan in the world from my point of view. But the biggest stuff we've got in is we've got one of each of the new Defilers. So we've got the White Defiler, we've got the blue ones, the black ones here, down here. So we get our cast a black permanent spell, target creature you control gets +1/+1 and menace. But probably the important one's the blue one. Going to have a lot of copy effects going on, a lot of blue spells, and this helps us draw the cards that we get even further into our deck. Hence why we have our wonderful, you know what I'm looking for down here, Reliquary Tower in the deck. Beyond that, the other copy targets I've decided for this, Sunscorched Regent gives people headaches, because if you've got a couple of these in play, it doesn't take long to get a few sort of like 6/4, 6/5, 7/6, 8/6 dragons into play, and you're gaining that nice little bit of life as well. We've got Sanctuary Warden. I've had a couple of these in play with the shield counters on, give you some really good blockers, so bear that in mind. Sun Titan, because it brings back anything down here that's been, removed, or a couple of our sack lands. The Cannoneers in. Now, this is one I wanted to try out. It's quite nice, improvised. You can, each artifact you tap after you've done activating mana abilities pays for 1. So that's quite nice. So, it can be that we use our Elixir of Immortality, our Senses Divining Top, even Solemn Sim to get this out. And whenever an artifact enters the battlefield under your control, put +1/+1 counter on Canno and it can't be blocked this turn. Getting a couple of them gives you a nice easy way to get through some damage. Consecrate Sphinx is an easy target to copy, although do watch it because you don't want to be sort of like decking yourself. You've got no way to win if you get down to your last few cards, just so we're clear on this. Guile is amazing. Copying this really does mean the game is over very quickly. Likewise, Grave Titan's in as well. Zombies, we like zombies, we like black decks. This comes in as well. Noxious Gearholt's a nice copy target to blow something up that you don't want them to have in play. Likewise, Demon of Dark Schemes will hopefully deal with all the small stuff that you might be coming up against. In copying it, you get all those nice energy triggers again, and then you get to pay some energy and get a creature from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control, which hopefully you've killed from your opponent. I've put both the dragons in, so Ancient Silver Dragons in, so we can draw some cards and not have a hand size, and Ancient Gold Dragons in. Because this creates the tokens, Anointed Procession works really well with this as well. We've also I've chucked in Emergency Powers, just so I can play at my main phase and then put 7 drop into play, which would hopefully be Ancient Gold Dragon. And Mage Just Thinks. Now, this only targets one player, but if you copy it, you can target a different player, and a different player, and a different player. Put them all on 10, which probably means you are going to be in a point to win the game quite quickly after that. The final few are quite fun. Clone Legion. We can copy our own stuff with Clone Legion. Or you can just copy someone who's so far ahead of you. This will be targeting, Clone Legion I did talk about, but more I think about it, there's a lot of Joda decks running around at the moment. Copying Joda, getting all their legendaries, getting all those nice big blockers isn't the worst plan in the world. Phyrexian Triniforms in. We do have ways of coming and making this die. And don't forget, if a copy dies that's this at the time, you still get the Golem token. So that's really nice. And again, with Anointed Procession, you'll get a lot of 3/3 Golem tokens, which will probably help you win the game or at least stall things up. Commit to Memories in. Just because it does does give us a little bit more control, a bit of countering, but it's also there so we can shuffle everything from our graveyard back into our library and get that whole new 7 hand. So that's pretty good. The last 2 cards I've put in are really nice copy effects, and they probably, give people a bit of a nightmare. Darksteel Colossus and Blightsteel Colossus. Now, I'm not a great one for playing effect in Commander. It's very rare that I play anything that gives effect going, because I don't really think infect, getting someone 10 damage, 10 poison counters really wins you the game. If they could up it a bit more on MTGO, I'd be happy. But at the end of the day, it's a nice copy target, and it will give people a nightmare. The only other cards I really haven't mentioned, I've put just Teferi in, just so we can do that untapping and landing, and -3 if we need to deal with things. That's the only reason that is in here. And Burial Rites is in as well, so if something does get killed off early and we want to get it back and copy something, that's what that's here for. And I think there isn't anything I haven't covered now. But like I said, it's all about copying. If you get Phyrexian Triniformans playing, sack it to Ever-Changing Dane's really nice if he's going to die. This is really here to copy some of the other stuff. Yes, it's going to be expensive. That's why we've got things that help us get things back into our grave library if we need to. We've got 3 ways of doing it, so we can sack some of the things off earlier on. But at the end of the day, if we can, do this and then copy another creature. So say we have this in play, we've got 7 mana kicking around, we cast Demon of the Dark Schemes, we can get it off, let the -2 resolve, sack it, copy it. I'm not sure if the targets work, but it's worth trying out. I'm not 100% sure how the world's rules work, I'll be honest on this one, but I think in my head that's how it works. So I'll be trying it out on stream sometime this week after you've seen this video. If you think I've missed anything, and I'm sure I have for this deck, because it's fairly late at night when I've built this and designed it, and I'm not convinced I've got everything right in this deck, I'll be really honest about it. So if you see something you think, oh my god, why hasn't he put that in there, let me know in the comments down below. Like the video, leave me a comment, subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe on YouTube. Hit that little red button so I get a few more followers. We're up to 71 at the moment. 939 and 29 to go, so I can start making money from YouTube. But if you don't want to do it, you don't want to do it. I'm just glad you've watched the video to this far. Likewise, come and see me on Twitch. Up to 121 followers on Twitch, which is really nice for me. I'm very happy with that. A few more of you coming and saying hello, talking to me when I'm playing the games on a Tuesday, Thursday and a Sunday afternoon. Really appreciate you doing it. So that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this little deck tech. Like I said, I'm still recovering from COVID, so still a little bit shorter as I'm filming this. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I test negative tomorrow morning so I can go to work. But in the meantime, thanks for watching this. Take care, and hopefully I'll either see your comment here on YouTube or I'll see you on the stream very soon. Thanks for being here. Laters.